a thing still, or is it within
It's
that
expanded. It's
okay.
Originally it was for like terminally ill people or people with like chronic illness to get that option.
Oh.
And
well,
go on.
But like they expanded it to like mental illness. Like I saw a girl on TikTok post like I saw
for, like treatment resistant mental illness, right?
Yeah, and I was like, you should probably think of like consider MAID. And I looked.
Oh my god! Somebody said that to you?
No, the therapist. It was like I saw it on TikTok.
Okay.
If someone said that to me, I'd be like, you know what?
That's just like a creative way of telling you to KYS.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
consider MAID.
It's medically correct terminology.
Wait, hold up. So the practice itself was expanded, or its usage of the word is being expanded to BM?
No,
probably both.
Yeah.
Yes, but
I think it's was it expanded, or because I thought it was like a new thing.
I know they had it. I know they had it recently, but it's probably become more of a thing because of how many people are actually using it. I don't know the actual. I don't know the actual
a lot
statistics.
of people are on this new program.
Yeah, they're getting help.
Because when I asked Dan about like what topics today, I like kind of looked into it, and it's been a thing since 2016.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
I know. Physician-assisted suicide has all like really been a thing for a long time.
Yeah. And
Well,
then-
yeah, but I think this one is like it's like a more expanded physician-assisted suicide because like in America, physician-assisted suicide that's like reserved for people who are like on life support.
Well, I mean,
like,
do you agree? The end goal. Do you agree with physician? Holy shit! The doctor killing people.
the doctor being
I think doctors should kill everyone.
True.
Yeah,
Mostly
but I mean,
babies, though.
Every doctor gets a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, like, do you inherently believe that physician-assisted suicide like is like a problem?
No,
or?
I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a problem when it's like, so like here's an example. Like there was they did an interview with someone who signed up for MAID, and it was like this dude who had some kind of he had some kind of chronic illness that like prevented him from working or something like that. And so he was like obviously struggling pretty hard for like money and like being able to live and stuff. And like in the interview, he literally says like, I don't want to die. It's just that like my chronic illness prevents me from being able to survive in our system. And like and I think that's like when it gets like kind of gray and weird because it's like, yeah, you know, the chronic illness is causing you to want to like pursue this. But at the same time, like if we had like maybe, or if Canada had like better financial programs to like help that person, maybe he wouldn't even pursue it in the first place.
I'm sorry, but if you're interviewing someone for like an assisted suicide program and they lead with, I don't want to die.
Well, no, it's not.
It's like, what the fuck am I watching?
They weren't interviewing for like the MAID people weren't interviewing him. And that's what he said. It was like for a TV thing.
When the interview starts with, I don't want to die, but I'm gonna get help killing myself. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's not a good
My
look.
hand is forced here, but but I think it gets really gray when like adding mental illness to the factor.
That's
it's like I'm gonna be sad like every other week.
Yeah.
And it's like which of those weeks am I eligible to die?
Yeah. When's my appointment?
Yeah.
I got a doctor's appointment. It'll be my last one for a long time.
I feel like the MAID solution is just like it's a solution to a problem that should have been fixed basically everywhere else. Like that should be the final solution, but because of how accessible, because of how accessible it is, it's like I feel like it shouldn't be as accessible as it is in Canada.
Wait, what do you mean by that? Because they have universal health coverage?
No, not just health coverage in general. Just being able to go in and say like, yeah, I want to have a medically assisted suicide. Yeah. It like in America, it's much more reserved for people, like you said earlier, who they literally can't do anything.
How much does it cost to die?
I don't know.
Like, it doesn't matter afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, like, you're gonna die,
that gets passed on to your family.
No, you have to put in a deposit before.
It's like, which is more effective, a bridge or a doctor?
Yeah, one of them's free.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, it's horrible that people want to participate in that program because there are a lot of people who could still get help, like the chronic illness guy Anthony was talking about. The issues at hand shouldn't be solved with MAID. It should be solved elsewhere in society. And that's where I think it is really kind of like a net negative, because there's a lot more help that you could be giving these people that society just isn't. And they're like, well, you could kill yourself.
You could like not be our problem anymore.
Yeah. And it's like, it's super fucked up.
I don't know, like, this is somewhat unrelated, but like one of the few experiences in my life that I have like a morbid curiosity is I want to see the final moments of someone who is like happy to die. Like I feel like I don't like the idea of death to me is such an odd concept that it's like I'll just wait. You know, I'll tough it. I'll wait until it comes and I'll be like, hey, what's up, dude? But like,
what's up, death?
I don't think I'll ever be happy in my moments of death, because it's just like, well, I mean, what's next, right?
Bro, I don't know if you've ever talked to like some really old people, like when they're in their 80s or like even approaching like 90s or something, but like
they're like, I want to die.
Yeah, no, they're like, I'm ready. Check me the fuck out. Because like, think about like all their friends, their family's gone. Like they've lost like a lot. You know what I mean? And they've lived a long life.
Do they sign up for MAID?
I don't know about that one. Well, no, because a lot of them are very religious, and they probably see like MAID
but it's
as
someone
like
else doing it. Loophole.
But it's
Welcome
suicide.
to God, baby.
It's suicide. If I give you a gun and tell you to kill me, that's suicide.
But there's a doctor's note with it.
But if you were to place a gun on the table and be like, oh man, I hope no one shoots me. It's loopholes.
That's not a loophole.
One-way ticket to heaven right here, guys.
You're doing it to yourself.
The technical term is just assisted suicide.
The technical term is medical assistance in dying.
Whatever.
Hence the acronym MAID.
Yeah, whatever.
The dope term is ass.
Maid service.
Suicide
Maid service
specialist. What?
I'm a suicide specialist.
I'm an ass.
Yo, guys, I hired a maid service for the house. I'm cleaning up some stuff.
Are the kids home?
I hope not.
Yeah.
Actually, I hope so.
We're going back to dark times.
Anyway, in lighter news, we have Nicole on the podcast.
Yay.
Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Null Thought podcast. We do this thing every once in a while. We get together.
It's like when 3 white dudes get into a room and talk.
Yeah, like honestly, you could probably put like a microphone down in front of like any group of white men, and you'll have a podcast in your hands.
It won't be good.
No,
Don't
it'll
tell
be
me
a
the podcast.
They're going to saturate the market.
If they trip acid one time and discover empathy, you know they're having a podcast.
Yeah, all right.
You don't have to speak directly to us. We are in the room.
Sorry, my bad.
I've seen empathy. I don't know if I've discovered it.
I've seen empathy. I can emulate it.
I've heard of her.
Empathy and I have a long, complicated relationship.
We don't get along.
So, Nicole, tell us something about you.
Oh my God. That's a loaded
2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie. Okay.
All lie.
I'm afraid of balloons. I do.
Why?
Well, no, we don't know if that's the lie yet.
I'm 21 years old and I don't do improv comedy.
Wait a second.
You're 40.
You're right. I know. I am afraid of balloons. But
Everyone knows Nicole is an improv comedy
that's
specialist.
True.
Yeah.
I invented comedy.
Like,
Yeah.
hold
The founding father of it.
wow.
Wait, hold on. Before we get into that,
Okay.
why are you afraid of balloons?
It's more of the popping sensation.
Oh, I thought you were like afraid of static balloons just
No.
being like there.
No, if like people start touching it and I hear the squeaks, I will probably have a panic attack. I'll have an anxiety
Really?
attack.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it kind of reminds me of like nails on chalkboard. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
We actually have a surprise for you.
We're going to your chair.
Johnny.
Yeah, like a clown that does the balloon animals comes in. This is actually Fear Factor.
Oh my God. It's just more like ASMR having an anxiety attack into the microphone.
Balloon
Like,
ASMR.
yeah.
You're like, please.
He's like, stop.
welcome
like-
in our second special guest, Joe Rogan.
The balloon animal specialist.
What kind of balloon animals do you think Joe Rogan would make?
Racist
What would
ones.
be his specialty?
Bald.
Bald? It's just a balloon. It's just blown up.
You know the balloon in
grabs a Sharpie.
Phineas and Ferb, where it's just like the weird looking. It's like a face on a balloon. His name's
Balloony?
Balloony. Yes,
That was in
that's-
Phineas and Ferb?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Fake fan.
Yeah. Be for
I
real.
never said he was.
I can
In fact, I
imagine.
fucking hate Phineas and Ferb.
Well, they hate you.
Yeah.
Specifically Ferb.
Yeah. Fuck you, Ferb.
We're
Fucking
talking
quiet
Ferb
ass
said nothing
motherfucker.
to you. Ferb literally said nothing.
That's the problem.
He's British. He said
Yeah.
enough.
That's true.
Actually, that's the problem.
That's true.
Wait, hold, wasn't like the Phineas and Ferb season finale like kind of wild though? Didn't Ferb like say a whole sentence or something?
Didn't
Maybe.
he slur?
Didn't he
I feel
slur
like
and then?
he's
Perry?
talked in multiple episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
That's
had-
usually like
He's
his thing.
British, isn't
Yeah.
Yeah, because his dad's British.
Yeah.
That makes sense now.
Dude, who is Phineas's real dad?
It was
Adopted.
Doofenshmirtz, man. How do you think he's so? How do you think Phineas is so smart? He
He's
has
so triangular.
Yes, true. He has a evil German scientist as a
Yeah,
father.
that German triangular build.
Yeah.
Although his genetics got flipped on its head because Doofenshmirtz has a thick ass chin, but then Phineas has the schnoz.
Schnoz. I fucking love the word
That's
schnoz.
a good word.
It's such a kind of
Schnoz.
word, you know, just
Yeah.
What is the original, the origin of schnoz?
You.
Like
Oh,
Hubert
sorry.
Schnozenheim invented
Yeah.
the schnoz.
like 1836. And he was like, "Oh, your schnoz looks quite long, isn't it?" And then that's where it's.
Holy bro, fuck is a schnoz?
Where were you last
The
episode when we were
fucking
doing
wank on your face.
British accents?
Oh dear.
we
Wait, what?
busted out George's.
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
his Cockney, was it the Cockney?
Did we get him to do an accent?
Yeah.
That,
Did
was
you?
that
That was like
well, we
20
recorded
minutes of
two
the
with him.
episode.
I forget if it was on the first or the second. I don't
It
know.
was definitely on the second.
Okay.
Mm.
I just edited it.
I don't remember that part.
We're gonna have 2 episodes on deck. That's never gonna happen again. Whoa!
Meal prepping,
Yeah.
podcast prepping.
Meal prepping. So tell us about your improv.
Well,
You're a comedy genius.
obviously,
We've been to. I think we mentioned before that we went to one of your shows. It was awesome.
yes.
It was very
Yeah, I
fun.
did enjoy it.
Thank you. So we do it's just made up on the spot skits,
Like improv?
like improv. Exactly. How'd you know?
Holy shit.
Dude, that's crazy. But no, we had a show like Halloween weekend, and we were hype going into it. We're like, this is gonna be awesome. This is
Yeah.
like our second show. The first one was spectacular. And then as we start walking to the show, like to get ready, we see every college student out and like walking away from campus. And then it hit everyone. We're like, we are doing a show on Halloween weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, what did we expect? So what did we expect the audience turn out to be?
Yeah.
You should have had a fully stocked bar. And
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
sure, you
That's what I'm
would've.
saying. It didn't occur to us, but I'm like, okay, whatever. People will come, right? It was a very small amount. My parents were there, so
Nice.
they were 30%.
That's all that matters.
That's all that
They were
matters.
30%.
Probably.
Like,
Plus, another kid's parents were there too. But
God.
We're like, thank you all for turning out.
Thank
And your
you.
mom is like, what?
she's like, "Yeah." She's like, yes, Nicole. She did not like because I said shit a lot. And she's like, you swear so much, and I'm like,
That's comedy,
and I'm
mom.
like, it's fun.
It's
I'm like,
funny, Mom.
You're lucky I didn't whip out my sex jokes, Mom.
I could have been real racist
Yeah.
up there, mom.
I know. I could. It could have been controversial, but I saved it.
Do you have
because of
any
you.
comedy inspirations? Like people that you watch a lot or like you find their sense of humor like really funny and you'd be like, I really wish I could just like be like them in the way that they do shit.
That's tough. I don't like really watch comedians. I don't like have one I
Mhm.
follow. But like, if I were to describe a TV show,
Mhm.
it would be New Girl.
That's
Go
good.
Girl.
I love New Girl. Go Piss Girl, exactly. But she's the new girl. I don't know. It's just like I can't even describe that humor. It's just like out of all the sitcoms, that makes me laugh the most. I don't even know like where I'm inspired from. I just have a thought and I say it.
Yeah.
You're just
And
naturally funny.
I'm just intrusive. That's why I'm intrusive. I found out when I was in elementary school when I would just like when the first thing would pop in my head, I would say it. And people would laugh. And I'm like, I'm going to abuse this the rest of my life.
I was the exact same way, honestly, coming up. And it's just, and then I don't know why, but I had like a weird moment where I was like, I'm tired of this. People don't take me seriously enough. I'm just gonna not make any jokes. And then I like had like a period of time where I just didn't make any jokes to anyone.
You just didn't speak.
The thing is, like, as you guys followed that thought, you guys actually got funny. For me, just the things I say just got more and more absurd. And I'm just laughing at the absurdity of like what the fuck I'm saying half the time. And
Yeah.
I don't know, sense of humor is really weird because like I laugh at like the absurdity of things, but also like people who make like really clever jokes that require like a long setup are also really funny. And it all just depends on like the context of it and like where we are and you know how I'm consuming the content or
the different
whatever.
avenues of comedy.
Have you guys
It's
ever,
sorry, go ahead.
Have you guys ever seen Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, of course. I
That's
think
like-
you showed that to me.
Probably, maybe. That was like
Cringe.
my fucking, that shit was so funny
Yeah.
when I was younger, especially for like an improv thing. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With what you were saying too about the intrusive comedy, and that's how you kind of just developed your own comedic expertise. I feel like the three of us are pretty intrusive when it comes. We're pretty intrusive.
We're intrusive like
We
that.
intrude on people.
I feel like our comedy style is very intrusive like that too, which I think works well on a podcast format. But when we try to do, we've made a lot of attempts to do things that are more like maybe sketch comedy, or like we have rough ideas for them.
Stuff
And
that's planned.
Yeah. And it usually, we're just like not as good at it right now because we'll have like an idea for a skit or like a comedy piece, and then we can't bring it out in any length because it's just like we
come
have
up with a punchline,
Yeah.
we laugh for 10 minutes, and then we go back to like, how do we set this up?
yeah.
I think
And then there's nothing.
I was talking to Alex about this like a little bit. Like I think it's just a different skill, you know, like
Yeah.
being able to like be funny in the moment and like, you know, be able to like recall something and make a callback or make a funny joke or whatever. Like that is a different skill than being able to write a whole sketch with like some narrative or some whatever, and then hit like multiple jokes on the way, and then like be able to produce that, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
that's how
like a
Family
whole
Guy
other
runs
skill.
things. It's just a callback to
Yeah.
a previous funnier time that they
Exactly.
Their only joke.
had. Yeah.
I think improv helps with that because to create a scene on the spot, you kind of have to like come up with a place, character, and
Yeah.
like where it's gonna go. Because I struggle with improv. Like comparatively, like I think I'm like pretty funny on my own or like with a group of friends, but getting on stage and trying to think like that,
Yeah.
it's just my brain goes burr. Like I can't. It just like it's hard to just like be creative in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole, I am kind of curious. What can you recall like the first time that you bombed on stage and you're like, wow, what?
The first time,
Yeah.
it's like I literally only hit like 20% of the time. It's like there was this one, I didn't think it was like that bad of a joke. I'm trying to think. It was like an astrology joke, right? And then someone's like, I'm a Cancer. And I'm like, I am so sorry for you. And like, no, everyone just looked at me. Like it was like, cause like that was the one we ended on, which is bad because like
Just dead silence.
it's just dead silent. Because I was like, that's funny. And my brain, I'm like, that's hilarious. But
I would have laughed.
people were like, oh, it's just like sometimes you think you have like such a good idea or a good like
Yeah.
I think it's
line.
just the audience on
Yeah.
that one. I would have laughed.
I don't know if like people didn't. I thought it was. I'm like, but then not one chuckle, guys.
Sometimes it's also like hard, like as like an audience member, like in an improv show, sometimes things happen like really quickly. So it's like hard to like go from like, I'm laughing at this thing and then, oh, I just like registered this happened and then I'm gonna laugh at that. You know, like I feel
Yeah.
like there's like a lot of stuff happening.
There's probably a lot of nuanced jokes that you don't get right away.
True.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like you said, things happen too
Yeah.
quick, and you're like, oh, that was funny.
Now we're on a new scene.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm curious about too is like, how hard do you find it to be like getting the timing down for like when to like come in on things, when to like swap out scenes? It's like I feel like I'm constantly searching for like a perfect opportunity to insert this one joke that I
Yeah.
planned from 10 minutes ago. It's
Yeah,
like,
because
where do I put it in? You know?
when I see you on stage, I'm trying to envision myself in that scenario and be like, where would I even come in? Like, I feel like I would have to just throw myself on stage and then just say whatever and then exit.
That's kind of how it, because sometimes like you'll have a joke, you're like, this is going to be funny. And then it goes like the people on stage just take it not the way you you want to. So sometimes like if you're in the scene, if you insert yourself in the scene, you just have to go with the flow. Even if you had like the most, like the funniest joke of humankind, you cannot just drop that in because it just like wouldn't make sense in the context.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to go with it.
That's kind of upsetting.
It is. There's
I would quit improv.
There's been so many times where it's like the ball, like you're just about to be throwing the perfect pitch, and then it just like goes an insane opposite way, and it's just like, well, damn, now I'm here. And there's been many.
You said the things I wanted you to say.
And there's been many times where like I'll go on stage, and then like I'm about to say something, but I'm ignored. And I'm just standing there and I just leave. And I just have to like awkwardly just walk and like scoot myself off stage.
That's part of the show.
It is.
At that point, when I insert myself and I have nothing to say, it's like I'm becoming a prop.
I'm a background character.
I'm a prop. How often do you get stage fright? Does it happen?
No. I did high school theater, and a big thing is like I just kind of almost black out during the entirety of it. And it's a fight or flight response. This is how I feel. I'm just like, I'm on.
I need to confront these people with humor.
And it's just, I don't know. It's not something it really bothers me.
Interesting.
Especially if you're doing it, because you seem pretty close with like your improv group. So it's like,
and that helps a lot.
Yeah. A lot of it's probably chemistry.
It entirely is. Because like when it was only a small group of us, because I was there like for the first year it started. It was the most atrocious thing. I planned on quitting. And a lot of people did too, but we stuck it out, and they're actually one of my best friends and the coolest people. But it is chemistry.
Did you meet your boyfriend through it?
Yeah, that's how I met Jake. How I met your mother.
Is he a recent addition to the cast? Or like...
He last fall.
Okay.
DLC.
And he's the funniest improver, funniest person on stage.
I think you're a little bit biased, but okay.
Okay. Well,
what came first? Him being the best?
What came first, the boyfriend or the humor?
Well, like I feel like there's certain people that can be funny outside and in improv, and he can just do both. Yeah. I just he's very scene aware and can imagine things how they play out and progress the scene.
Fucking healthy imagination.
I know.
Piece of shit.
Imagine being able to think, but I feel and that's there's a lot of people like that where I'm just like, how do you just come up with these characters and these scenes and progressive? Yeah. It's very creative and imaginative, and it's a hard thing. It's a hard skill to learn.
Yeah, it looks really fun though.
It's so fun just doing bits. Life's a bit. You just got to commit to it, man.
Honestly, I appreciate the idea of improv more than a lot of planned skit-based comedy, because it's I feel with planned work, it's I have to do a lot of things to get 5 minutes out of this joke, and it's improv, it's just this lasted 30 seconds and I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't need to continue this shit on for more time than needed, because it's
you hit where you want it.
Yeah.
I think I laugh more at improv jokes than I do a planned joke. I mean, obviously I still find a lot of stand-up comedians who plan their jokes out to be pretty funny, but for improv, things that are just on the fly, people like Eric Andre, I just find so fucking funny.
Yeah. I was about to say I was gonna point out the Eric Andre show as do you think that influenced you at all, being a little wacky or
Nathan
wild?
Fielder?
Honestly, no. I don't really watch. The only thing I watched from Eric Andre was the movie. The I don't even know what it was called.
The Eric Andre movie.
Yeah. Basically, where it was just he just would just do skits in front of people and get the raw reaction, which I think is hilarious. But I don't really have inspo from comedians. I just
so you're a fully original piece of work.
I am, except I do steal a lot of bits
piece
from
of
New
work
Girl.
is what I'd say.
I have a problem where I said a New Girl bit on stage, which is literally plagiarism or whatever, or copyright. Sorry, that was it. That was
recorded.
made.
Who's the OSHA of improv?
Please, OSHA.
Her boyfriend.
Yeah, right.
We had a sensitivity training.
Really?
Me
Yeah,
too.
because
By who?
just the officers we planned, we just wanted to discuss what things are okay to joke about and because we have a lot of new people, and it's something that's important is to understand they're you can be funny without being offensive, and that's a lot of people
The one edgy kid comes up.
Yeah.
Did you have an experience with an edgy
we
kid?
did.
Can you recall it?
I can. And it actually did involve me.
Didn't?
It did.
Okay,
it was like
okay.
and it was like another situation, but like the one I'll just speak on my behalf. So there was a scene where this kid was like, yo, I just like, look at this milk. I just milked a cow. Like it was like, the joke was like the first man to ever milk a cow. And then I cut in and I was with the cow with my friend Jesse. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I just got milked. And then he comes back on stage. Like I'm supposed to like the cow, like the reaction of the cow that like just got like milked. And the kid came back on after like the bit was he just milked me. Yeah. Decides to milk me again. Like milking, gestures like milking my breasts in front of a whole state, in front of like the whole audience. And I'm just standing there in awe. Then Jake was like, son, get the fuck away from the cow. yeah, like he had to like jump in and be like, get your paws off.
That's a good
subtle way to save you.
Yeah. Wow. And then there's also been just multiple occasions where he just dropped like, you have nice tits in a scene. And I'm like, that was not improv in the conversation.
Is not a scene to say whatever you want.
Exactly.
That feels like it wasn't improv.
Yeah.
You just stand there and you're like, good joke.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's just like stuff like that. And there's more to it. And we're just like, this has to be addressed. Like, this is like not okay.
Yeah. Did you like let them stay or did you?
We have a strike system.
Ooh.
So like it's 3 strikes you're out. And if you have 2, you're like,
how many strikes does a slur get you?
1.5. No, you're out. I'm kidding. You're out. But
imagine the shock value with a girl with blue hair walks on stage slurring.
Oh my God.
That's fucking hilarious, actually.
Breaking stereotypes one step of the way.
I'm actually conservative.
Yeah. You got pranked. That's improv. But yeah, there's just like, I feel like a main thing is people like if you have to be offensive, if you have to bring up like if you ride that gray area, like no tomorrow, maybe just take a step back from comedy, you know, like maybe just try not to do
I feel
that.
like I can really only be edgy with like 1 or 2 people in my lifetime.
It's more of like an art form to be an edgy comedian that is not only truly edgy, but like inoffensive.
Yeah, somehow like I don't know how they find that line and they unicycle across it amazingly. But like the pulling off an edgy joke requires such like I don't even know how you set up for an edgy joke without even fucking like bombing entirely the full way through.
The thing is you can't allude to it being edgy beforehand.
Yeah,
it's like it has that's the shock
whole point of it.
Like it plays off of innocence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Pete Davidson with his like 9/11 dad jokes. It's like
that's edgy.
It's edgy and it's okay because it's a personal experience that he's okay talking about.
I don't think it's funny though.
I don't think Pete Davidson is that funny, but
that's obviously subjective. But it's like I can't. It's right. I can't be really mad at him or for anything that he says along the lines of 9/11.
Yeah, I can appreciate the jokes.
He has free range for 9/11 and dad's dying. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like edgy humor. I think edgy humor has its place, but like you said, like if you're doing it all the time and you're like also like using like slurs and shit or just like weird. I
Things
feel like
that cross the line a little bit.
I feel like there are ways to be edgy that like everyone's kind of like, yeah, okay. Cause it like scratches at like an id sort of thing where like, in your weird intrusive thoughts, like maybe you thought the same thing and it's like, yeah, that's funny because it's fucked up, you know? But it's like just saying the N-word or whatever, that's not an edgy joke. No. That's just a slur.
If the punchline is a slur, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. In order for me to find something like that to be funny, it has to be the least offensive thing said during the joke, because it's like I need at least, if I find something funny, it better be like, I don't know, fuck, what am I trying to say here?
I was about to say, because I think the offensive part of it should be the punchline, because it goes with the shock value of whatever you're saying. Yeah,
but it better be like some atrocities committed to human rights, followed up by the slur punchline.
I do not agree.
The ultimate joke.
Yeah, just hitting all the boxes.
I need all of those criteria before any neuron activation occurs.
You better credit us, Nicole.
We better only get one strike for this.
We'll do. Oh,
But yeah.
But
edgy.
that's just internet culture nowadays.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up, the internet it had like a way bigger niche for edgy comedy like that.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a niche. It was the entire internet.
Well, yeah, it was a bigger niche is
Yeah,
basically
I
what
get
I'm
what
trying
you're
to say.
Jake brought up a really like interesting topic, kind of revolving around like internet humor. It's like specifically like about like women in the gaming community. So
It's a gold mine of edgy.
But like, do you think that like the amount of insults or like kind of mean jokes directed to women are like the same amount as like mean insults to men, but more harsher? Or is it more like there's just more in general?
I think there's just way more in general. I think the gaming culture, well, I think because there's way more women in gaming. No, women in gaming.
TM.
Yeah. Just because like the population of women in gaming it's become a lot more popularized. So I feel like the more women that play video games, the more guys that will harass them.
Yeah, my main issue with it is that like I'm all for being toxic as fuck online. But like I feel like specifically when dealing with women online, it's like you become the most uninspired, like worthless sack of just insults.
That's what I was about to say. Like,
we start crafting some shit. You know what I mean, man? Just pull out the blacksmith.
You can't be
cooking
toxic.
iron.
Like you can't be toxic to the character of the person. Like that's just being rude.
Yeah,
well,
you can.
wait. Yeah, I was about
No.
to.
Yeah,
what
I
do you
don't
mean
think
by?
you
What do you mean
can.
by? Here's what I'll say. I think like I think women they probably do experience like a little bit more like harassment, but also I think the type of insults that they receive is different too. You know, like nobody's ever insulted me for like being
a man.
like yeah, or like having like what's it called? Like I'm trying to think of like traits that like people insult women for, but like no one's ever called me a slut or some shit. But like women would get called sluts in video games. Like I've seen it happen.
Yeah, dude,
you know
when
what I
people
mean?
insult
Off of
me-
like nothing. It like literally makes no sense. And or people don't know what to say to attack someone, so they just go for like whatever is easiest to grab. You
That's
know?
what I mean. Like you can't insult the character when you're being toxic because you're just being rude to that person. Then it's like if you're gonna be toxic to somebody, you should talk about the game that they're playing, what they're doing in the game.
No.
It depends.
I think that's stupid.
That is
'Cause then I
absolutely
won't get
wrong.
the reaction I want out of that.
I
But
think
that's
it
how you're just an
depends.
awful person.
Yeah.
But that's not.
Why do you think
no,
I
I
play
think
you can-
Overwatch?
You can be toxic, but you can be toxic online, but you can also not be misogynistic, racist, or just an awful person. to other
there's a
people.
difference between being
But
rude.
that's what I'm talking about.
Well, no, you said rude.
Yeah.
You didn't say misogynistic. You said rude.
How is
Yeah, okay.
misogynistic? How is being
Okay.
misogynistic not being rude?
No, it is being rude, but I'm saying you can be rude without being
Let
misogynistic.
me
Yeah.
establish some
I
context.
don't think so.
What?
Because like being toxic online, you're the point of being toxic is so that you're not attacking the character of the person.
No.
What do you mean no?
The
Like,
whole point
that's-
of being toxic is just to attack the other person
Alex, you made
based on whatever. Sorry.
Guys, let me establish a little bit of context here. When
I'm racist.
no, but like generally when you're insulting someone online and like I just want them to feel bad, right? Because they're pissing me off. They're doing something. They could be doing something in the game that is pissing me off, and I will go after them personally. I can make massive leaps in logic and just basically create whatever family structure and dynamic I wish for this person, unrelated to what their actual life is, and then insult them for that narrative that I've created for them instead of what they are actually going through.
But that's not being misogynistic or racist. That's
No, but
just
it is being
It's being
toxic.
toxic.
yeah. I
That's
agree.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
No, you said you disagree earlier when I said you can
Where
be
are we?
No, because I said you can be rude without being misogynistic, and you said I don't think I agree with that.
Well, like being toxic, because I think we're differentiating like what toxic actually means. Like
Being
when
toxic is also being rude. These are two synonymous terms.
yeah, I mean, fair, but I don't know, because being rude is I think less
It might be on a
less
scale.
potent than being toxic.
Yeah, being
Sure.
rude, I feel as if like you've defined the line. Being toxic is that line is so blurred that
Yeah.
you don't know where it really started and where
I don't
it
think it's
ends.
blurred. I think you're just crossing it, and that's
Yeah.
the point that I'm
Well,
making.
Toxic is at the end of the scale.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can be toxic and not be racist or misogynistic.
Yeah.
You can just say like, this is why your family abandoned you or something.
Don't
like,
you have some relationships to ruin?
Yeah.
Like,
You know-
just weird shit, you know?
And when
Just try and
you
get in
have
your
to
head.
bust out the misogyny or racism for like if you
That's
hear a
cringe.
girl in
That's
chat,
That's what I see.
Yeah.
Your bag is empty. You've run out of like,
exactly.
fucking
You're
level 2
pulling
spell
for
slot.
straws.
your bag is empty.
But like it's like interesting because I feel like there's different dynamics to it, because I do see like when men insult other men, it's like, dude, you're dog shit, man. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
you're
they
bad
go
at
for the
this shit.
gaming
They
skill.
for the
That's
but
true.
like but like the insults towards women are like in like more like directed towards their gender.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely, they're talking to the player, the person behind the
Yeah.
keyboard or the controller.
Yeah, and it's like obviously there's like more hate. There's like more actual like hatred towards the person. But then like in the other instance, like do women get more insults? Because when I was like, I looked at it and being like, so when I solo queued in Valorant is like very toxic.
Yeah.
Naturally.
It's man central.
And if there's like, let's say if there's if I'm the only woman in the chat and like 2 guys have mics, if the first guy doesn't hear the other guy, it's going to be a normal game. But if there's more men that like are like willing to speak in the chat when they know that I'm a woman, that's when they start like echo chambering each other.
Because
And
they feel some strength
It's-
being with
yeah.
other men. Like,
Strength
oh,
in
now we
numbers.
can shit on this woman
Yeah.
because she's alone.
Mhm.
I think it's fucking hilarious because in my mind, like
kinda true.
women playing Valorant, the moment they like press that voice chat, like I just see all the mics like flare on this.
The neurons activate.
Yeah. It's full monkey mode. It's just like what can I sling out of my ass mouth today?
I am infinitely wondering why people do that. It's like, what you can insult the gaming potential all you want, and that would be fine. And that's my point is like, why do you have to go after the character innately? Because you have 5 dudes in a chat and you're not like roasting them for being dudes, but you'll roast a girl for just being a girl.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to like push responsibility off, but I feel like the game itself doesn't really allow for a fun time. Because
What do you mean?
you like get into lobbies and it's like I can sense the mental of these players.
There's
It's
stress.
Like, yeah, they're stressed out. They're somehow fucking playing the game despite hating it, and they've spent 12 hours on it today already. So it's like, why the fuck are you still here? Why have you spent 5 seconds in this lobby and have already given up? And it's like you're already being toxic. So it's like I don't enjoy Valorant personally, because I feel like everyone who plays that game gets angry and gives up. And it's like, it's so easy in that mindset to just perpetuate just this cycle of fucking toxicity and just aggression for no fucking reason. It's a video game, dog. I'm
The
just trying to,
relationship-
like, even if I lose, I'm just trying to have a good time,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
The relationship between people being toxic and people hating the game is like 1-to-1.
It feels like it, yeah.
A positive correlation, because it's like when you're playing a game that you really hate or you're having a bad time, you're just like, I need to slur, I need to be misogynistic.
Let's take the edge off with this one.
It's because like they've been
The mute button is like
Yeah.
heroin.
they've been beaten down in solo queue like all day, and then they finally like perceive someone that they think is like weaker than
The
them in some
problem.
way, and
You're
then they're
the
like,
problem, not
yeah,
me.
and then they just
I'm
take it out.
losing.
Yeah.
But it's so funny, just like being with Anaya and like Jenny when I queue. It's just like they think that they have like they have like the edge on. When they hear one of us, they think they have the edge on
Then
us.
bam.
Then it's
Yeah.
just like
That's when you
degrading.
dogpile.
Yeah,
You get them back.
yeah.
All the pent up misogyny that's like the misogyny meters going off, and you
Yeah.
just unleash your alt.
Exactly.
You let one person say something, you see how he reacts, and then you're like, all right,
Let's get him. Get him,
Let's
girls.
kill him.
Let's get them.
It's misanthropy. I don't know. Misogyny sparked the word misanthropy in my head, which is the dislike of human beings.
Oh.
I'm a misanthropist.
Okay. At least it's like equal though. you
Yeah,
know?
of course.
When I play Overwatch, I'm a misanthropist.
Why would I
No one's
treat
safe.
anyone else differently
Yeah.
than a pile of
Actually,
dirt?
that's what you should do. Treat everyone the same. Be toxic to everybody.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
go
that's-
for one character in particular.
I feel like that's the proper way to do it. You
Yeah.
don't single people out. If you're going to be a force of hate and aggression, just do it. You know,
That's like the thing with Call of Duty being like obscenely racist. It's
Yeah,
like
'cause
just because you hear a black dude on the mic, people go straight for the race. And it's like, if he sucks at the game, tell him he sucks at the game. You don't have to go for his ancestry.
But I feel like Call of Duty has bred a very specific set of people who
Set of racists.
Yeah, no, okay, hold up. The people who played, hold up, that one just hit me. But like when you played Call of Duty as a child, you were at a crossroads. It's like, do I continue to be racist or do I use my toxicity for good? It's like, how do I choose to continue being toxic in my life from this point on? And being 8, that's a lot of decisions.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, it's
for
like-
you.
I would agree I hit that point, but I wasn't racist on Call of Duty. Like
Yeah,
I
no,
wasn't
but, like,
I was just
like,
homophobic.
and look
feel
at
like-
you now, gay.
We have the bisexual lighting and everything.
Yeah, this is a gay ass room right now.
Yeah,
it's
very.
true.
4 gays, bisexual lighting, podcast. is that gay music?
Yeah. That's the bisexual anthem.
Just club.
I said this last time on the podcast, but like when I play video games, people are like, you like men, and I'm like, yeah, I do. Like people use that as an insult for the same reason that they go for women being women or someone of a different race being of a different race.
Yeah, I always wonder was like, at how many points when that joke fails on you do you like stop using it?
Yeah,
right.
Because like, it's like if you're insecure with how you are, it literally has no effect on you. It's like just does not do any damage, and you're sitting there like, okay, like if you tell me I'm bad at the game, then I get angry.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
That's what you should be focusing on.
If I'm top fragging and then someone just like lets some slip, is like, bruh, I'm about to put my fucking hair in a bun.
I'm about to lean forward. Nicole, how often do you experience that kind of misogyny?
Quite a lot.
Yeah, could you give us a ratio?
Well, I'm going to tell you that this actually is concerning as someone who's going to be a future teacher. The demographic that does it is like middle schoolers. I mean, I'm not going to teach middle schoolers.
That
but
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, but I mean, it does, doesn't it? They have like zero actual consequence for their actions.
I teach high schoolers, and they're all Orthodox Jewish kids. They all say the K slur constantly, like all the time. You know what I mean? Some of them will say like,
"What's a K slur?"
Oh, we can't.
like the
Look it up.
The Jewish slur.
Yeah.
The Jewish kids are saying the Jewish slur.
But they have the pass.
Well, yeah, okay. But they'll say other shit too.
Okay.
So like, that's just like, there's something in the brain of like a teenage boy that like makes them want to be a freak in that respect. Like, I don't know what it was. It's just like, I don't even think it's like a lack of empathy or a lack of whatever. It's just like being a fucking moron.
It's in the
you know?
same vein of like morbid curiosity. It's just the atrocity of it is appealing, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's what people miss with that edgy humor. It's like the punchline isn't the fact that you're just being an awful person. And it's like that gray area is like how you set up the joke and everything. You shouldn't be using those kinds of slurs in your joke in general, but like there is a gray area with edgy comedy that you don't really want to step into. Yeah,
the gray area of comedy should appeal to like things such as morbid curiosity, where it is just like an interest, like something that you didn't think you don't normally think of, but it's like it's in the back of your mind. Where you're like, huh.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Maybe I do want to
say it.
But it also, I feel like at that age with like peer pressure and stuff, that it's just an echo chamber.
True.
It's a jerk
All your friends
circle.
are doing it.
Yeah. And it's just.
In high school, it was like that because everyone was just like, that was the peak humor for like half the boys specifically.
I remember I was called a feminazi because I told
that was during the
that was
anti-SJW.
Yeah.
Gamergate.
Oh my God. It was because it was the like crunchy meme T-pose, that era. But because like there was a joke that people said, they're like, anytime like someone, like a woman said something ditzy, they'd be like, repeal the 19th.
Oh my God.
They would say that. And I'm like, that's just like not funny.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like, just don't say that. And they would just call me like a feminazi. And I'm like, let's take a step back and like let's see who is the absurd one here.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's no like critical thinking skills, and like some of the guys that did it like grew up to be like left leaning, but it's just like it's still just
when do you guys think that, like, when do you think the transition point is? Like, at what age do people be like, I think racism's bad, probably?
When they're away from their parents, I feel like it's a big thing.
Probably
They get
when they
really-
get exposed to the different kinds of people. Because usually when people are like obscenely racist or misogynistic, it's because they don't have the exposure to those types
All
of
my
people.
friends are white. What do you mean?
Yeah, they're all white, like high schoolers. So it's
Exactly.
like they don't have any repercussions for saying anything out of line like that.
But I'm the brown one.
I know.
I'm racist now. What do I do?
The most racist one is the brown one.
It's got to be. Someone's got to do it.
No, but it was wild. Like I grew up in a like majority like black neighborhood, and like coming to this area and then just hearing like white kids in the lunchroom just say the N-word with a hard R, just like casually throw it around like as an insult or like a punchline or whatever.
It's like, wow,
It's
you
like-
would not have made it home.
Oh, you would have been fucking stomped out. It was ridiculous.
It's just the sign of the times growing up, I guess.
Honestly, I feel like sometimes we got to just add a little bit of, peer enforced justice.
Maybe we should put all the white boys in camps, make them work
Wait a
until they're
minute.
good again.
I genuinely believe that if I say some fucked up shit and I get my ass kicked for it, I probably should, like, even if I have to repress it, and like I know it inherently doesn't change the actual problem. I understand that. But they'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right?
They'll at least
It's
keep
like,
it
I don't-
internalized.
Yeah, but like at what point do I have to care enough about them that I want them to change?
Well, are you beating somebody else up, or is this person you in this hypothetical?
Why? I'm not racist.
It's that hypothetical.
As much as I said I was, this is hypothetically speaking. If I was,
I'm hypothetically racist.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how much I care about a person who is racist for them to change. Like, do you guys care about change it? I can fix them kind of shit.
No,
Well,
I don't think about that.
I feel like that comes into terms with how cancel culture relates to like general society, because people usually go after cancel culture for being like a witch hunt or like destroying
But
platforms
it
and
literally
stuff.
is
But
doing
it's
the
like,
same shit I just talked about.
yeah, that's
It's
what I'm
like,
saying. Is like it's that moment where you see the public's reaction to whatever you say, and it's like it would be the same thing if you said the N-word in like an all-black school. It's like people would have a pretty visceral reaction to that.
I feel as though cancel culture, though, I feel like they take the repercussion aspect to the extreme, where it's like they're going after their job, they're going after their fucking homes, they're stealing their pets, they're fucking like
Stealing their pets.
At what point, like, have we taken so much from them that they actually can't recover, and it bolsters the problem?
I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
I feel like cancel culture for the most part doesn't exist. I feel like there's many people who will be like publicly shunned but come back into the light with no problem.
No, absolutely. And within cancel culture, there's probably I probably overestimate here, like of 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people are going to be the ones who are going to be fucking, oh, let's remove their job. Let's have the government arrest them, swat their house. It's like those people are the extreme of cancel culture.
Yeah.
Much like the feminist movement, where you have the feminazis who are the extremes of feminism. And it's like at the point where they lose sight of the actual purpose and goal, and then it becomes the focus. So it's always the vocal minority who will steal, like I could be one dude taking away your fucking job. It's like, but I'm gonna blame cancel culture. You're gonna blame cancel culture over it because of me being that one dude.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like when people get evicted. I mean, these are extreme cases, but like when people get evicted or they lose their job or like their wife leaves them or something for being racist or misogynistic, it's like, is that cancel culture, or is it just the individual reactions to the things that you said? Because the job has its own concern about having you. Your wife has her own concern about being your wife and like your friends and everything. It's like, how much of that is cancel culture? It's just, cancel culture is just bringing it to light.
Yeah, I feel as though the disconnect between cancel culture and the consequences of your own actions is the moment it stops being on an individual basis. That conversation should be between you and your work. That conversation should be between you and your wife. The moment like some dude on social media somehow doxes your location, finds out where you fucking live, that's when it gets a little bit weird. It's like,
I do think that's weird.
It's not like I might have said some fucked up shit like fucking last week or something, right? And then some dude on Twitter comes out and is like, I'm going to ruin everything that you live for. And it's like, what? Why?
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I feel like cancel culture.
Yeah, quote
like,
unquote.
I think you're right that people do come back, you know, and on like a variety of platforms or whatever, and they're still making money. You know, there's a whole conservative media machine that will like fucking platform anyone who gets canceled, quote unquote.
Yeah, Kanye.
And they'll just,
Kanye's back.
They'll just get constant like promotion. But I do think that there is sort of like, whenever people like see something online, I think that people have like a visceral reaction to things. Sometimes warranted, but sometimes I don't think so. You know, it all depends on who we apply it to. But like, there have been certain instances where like somebody would say something very mild mannered, maybe like a little like off the grain of like a progressive sort of message, but like they would get just millions of comments or retweets saying like, you know, like character attacks or like this or like that, as opposed to like either just challenging whatever they're saying or like just blocking them.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like there is no discussion in that. It's just like, it's a lot of people just being like retweets like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then no follow-up, not even discussion with the person. But like, I don't know, I feel like on TikTok, I actually see I see the idea of cancel culture in a better light, I guess, because on TikTok you can have the whole stitching, the whole like, you know, replies and stuff like that. There's an actual platform for you to basically just communicate directly for the sake of your fans, I guess. In a way, it's all just like to communicate to the masses. But I feel like TikTok manages to keep individual problems to the individual while keeping it public.
I don't know about that because it's never individual, you know.
No,
like when you're
it
on a
never
public
is. But it's
platform
like
that.
the thing is like those stitches and stuff. It's gonna be like one person stitching onto one person.
It's like more personal.
Although there are a lot of people stitching on that, it's like it's still on that 1-to-1 ratio kind of thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying because it's like there's a direct correspondence between two people who actually are like talking about something.
It's comment and reply. It's just like it's the establishment of good conversation. There's a sender, a receiver, and a reply. And then there you have it.
Yeah.
Good convo, even if it might not lead anywhere.
And like maybe Twitter's not built for good conversation, but like
Twitter is good for doxing.
You don't even have Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
Why did you delete Twitter, huh?
Because it was fucking distracting me way too much.
Oh, because the one group chat message a month was too
because
much for you, buddy?
No, because I open it, I scroll, and then I close it, and then I open it and I scroll,
I
and
do
it's
that
the
shit.
same fucking tweets I just saw, and then I close it, and then I open it and I scroll, and it's this fucking endless cycle, and then next thing I know, it's like 4 p.m. 8 hours have gone by, and I'm a fucking moron.
That's
The social
a skill
media
issue, dog.
Yeah, that's why I deleted it. I'm bad at it.
Your MMR is too low. We can't queue.
Yeah. Do you not think cancel culture exists?
Do you
Were you
not
just
think?
playing devil's advocate, or is that your actual belief?
like it's a. Okay, I'm gonna be a little controversial here.
Do it.
Okay,
I want to
so-
hear your thoughts, Nicole.
All right,
Let's go.
so I feel like it was
Let's go.
very crystal clear with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case. I think it's the case was like really good for hearing male, like the male side of domestic violence, but also the way that like Amber Heard was just like completely like shit on, like publicly humiliated and embarrassed.
Yeah.
And it was like a whole like it was almost like a reality show people treated the case.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And
I've heard better takes out of Donald Trump than Amber Heard and some of those.
You're taking the wrong. You're taking the wrong path here.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying, but it's like the claims that were like both Donald Trump and Amber Heard have made the most ridiculous claims I've ever fucking heard, and let alone in like literally our legal system, like shit. But go on.
because like I'm not justifying like anyone in this case. I
get
really don't know much, but just like the public outcry of it was just like it's just like it affected her. I feel like I don't know how to put this, but like I feel like this also goes with like sexual assault victims as well. Like there's no false accusations. Like people, that doesn't ruin lives. People come back from it. Many trials like that women go through don't even get the justice they deserve.
Yeah.
So it's like, how is it going to ruin your life? And I feel like that was really clear with the case, how Amber Heard was actually ostracized from society because of that. But but like,
and it was just because it was against like a man, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
So like usually when women have sexual assault allegations on them, it's like, well, but then when it's against a guy, everyone's like, yeah, this happens, all the time to guys. It's like, there's a clear disconnect in the way that people perceive sexual assault, because it was like, for guys, yeah, it does need to be talked about a little bit more, but that was not the medium to do it. Like you shouldn't be,
especially seeing fan edits of like John.
or the
Johnny
Twitch
Depp
streams.
Yes.
Like people just like literally live streaming it
I
and
thought-
reacting and being like,
It was
ugh.
disgusting.
Like I heard
It was
like
free views.
I heard that the lawyers, like there were multiple lawyers that live streamed it on like YouTube. They got like over like 6 figures per stream. On
Yeah, I
Jesus.
appreciate that more though, because you can get some legal insight. I don't give a fuck about Lakari
Maybe,
watching.
but like they like
Pokemon.
what like they can have some insight into the system itself, but like they're not gonna really have a ton of insight into the case unless they've done a lot of reading into it.
No,
then
they don't
fair
need
enough.
to have insight into the case. They have insight into the laws, which
That's what I'm
like,
saying. They have insight into the
99% of people
system.
don't.
But like I'm still just saying that it's weird that they were using it as like an entertainment medium.
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
all.
there's lawyers streaming on Twitch doing cases, I think has become a lot more popular since that. Because I remember Anaya was watching, who's the one fucking dude who, like, he was trying to kill his girlfriend, wife, baby mama.
Fuck, what was his
and
name?
he killed, like, he either injured or killed, like, 76 people. He had, like,
Yeah, he like
76
drove through a
counts.
parade or
How
something.
you accidentally killed.
There was did I say
Oh my
accident?
god! What is happening?
No, he like ran over a bunch
Yeah,
of
no,
people.
like,
Oh, okay.
He was
forget his
chasing.
name.
He was chasing his initial targets
Gosh.
down in a car, and then he broke out, like I guess, into a like parade or something, and he just.
Oh, was
Yeah.
that the fucking like the big thing that happened? And it was like in Minneapolis or Wisconsin.
Perhaps I'm not too informed about it, and I would actually know, but yeah, it's just like since the Amber Heard trial, there have been a lot more lawyers popping up on Twitter and just following cases. And I think that's actually really important. I think that is a good outcome from that case, isolated from the implications of what the trial actually disclosed or discussed.
I could probably agree that lawyers doing it is better, but yeah, like seeing like Lakari or like Asmongold, like those types of people, it's very weird.
And, yeah,
as far as
mm.
like what I know about like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, like they were both abusive to each other.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there was a lot
toxic
of mutual abuse.
And like Johnny
Um,
Depp got no coverage on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like people just
that-
actively
and-
ignored it.
Mhm.
Well, I shouldn't say no coverage, but people just basically
it like
blocked
got
it out
brushed
of
under
their
the
mind.
rug,
Yeah.
kind of. It was just that like the I think because like there was some manufactured evidence, I think,
Yeah,
that
I
Amber
feel-
Heard submitted.
Amber
Which-
set herself up horribly for that fucking case. I just like it, unrelated to the outcome or like what was discussed. She did not do a good fucking job just defending herself or representing or like getting a good representative, having any of her evidence put together. It's just like, I don't
Maybe
know.
not, but at the same time, like Johnny Depp had a huge public support. Like,
Oh my God,
there were
dude.
people literally outside of the courthouse like cheering for him, and
Yeah.
like,
I love you,
Like-
Jack Sparrow.
like they like trying to like stroke his car as
Yeah.
it drives into the parking lot.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
But like that drives home to me at least the importance of like getting your fucking shit together. It's like,
Well, yeah, but what I'm just saying, like the cards were stacked against her in the beginning.
yeah, I know. But
Either way, this is
just-
besides the point.
yeah,
This is a huge.
I'm
tangent.
talking about
My whole-
other things.
My whole point was that I think that this kind of like shows that there is at least like some cancel culture like
Yeah.
aspect, because like everyone just viscerally reacting
Mhm.
to like their limited understanding of the case. You know, I even did it too, because like when I first heard about the case, I only heard about like what Amber Heard had done.
Mhm.
You know, I had only seen that side of the story, and so like I think on the podcast we even talked about it, and then like a week later or something, we were like, "Hey guys, we fucked up," you know, because
I literally had to watch the trial in order to find out half the fucking shit. Those YouTube clip edits, they cover like 6 things that happened.
You mean to tell me the Amber Heard fan cam didn't cover the whole case?
Yeah.
That is
all like 7 days.
But
in a 10-minute edit,
I was gonna say, I just say like it just picks and choose who they want to cancel. I guess
that's definitely true.
Yeah.
It all depends on like the moment and like where the attention goes and like how it gets directed. You know, it's all very weird.
Yeah.
Because like, and some people fully deserve to get canceled. Like fucking Alex Jones. Like,
I thought you were gonna say me, bro.
Yeah.
Like Alex, goddamn.
Wait, I don't know.
Alex Jones, you're turning the fucking frogs gay. That guy.
Yeah.
He was the one who like lied about all the Sandy Hook kids.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
And got sued for like $1 billion.
Yeah, that is so.
That is insane.
Yeah, I feel as though cancel culture is an easy avenue into having a power trip, and that's something that needs to be.
Well, how so? Because it's like on an individual
you have the power
basis.
to remove someone from life.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You
Well, no,
send
not
them to
individually,
Maine, bro.
Well, yeah, individually, because like you can participate in it. You know what I mean? It feels like when there's like someone that you deem as like someone who needs to be canceled, like their platform needs to be removed, and then you take yourself upon like a holy crusade or whatever to like dox this person, find out where they work, find out whatever the fuck, you know, like that is like, those are individual actions stacking up. These aren't usually like big people that are doing this. They're usually like fucking 200, 300 follower accounts, you know, that find like crazy doxes and like post them, and then they just get boosted a fuck ton by a ton of other people.
But how often does that actually happen on like an individual basis? Like how many people within cancel culture immediately go for doxing?
It doesn't matter. All that matters is that there is some, and like people individually have a lot more power than what we're establishing in this conversation. Individually, you have the ability to trace back anyone's IP very easily. You can find out basically through a simple name search, where they work, their LinkedIn. You could do just basically any general background search of a person, and then you can start going deeper. And then you can find out personal relations. You can find out things that, you know, maybe their mother or their father did. And then you can it's just a whole rabbit hole of like shit that you can constantly keep digging in.
Weird.
It is weird. It's weird because you have unlimited potential of finding shit on people. And on the internet, there really is no filter. There is no one to be like, hey, I probably shouldn't fucking kill this man.
I don't think anyone's going to kill somebody from just being toxic online.
So here's the thing. Do you know what Kiwi Farms is?
Yes.
Kiwi Farms is a place where, for people who don't know, it's a place where like people like obsessively post about lol cows, like posting their doxes and posting like just all information.
What's lol cows?
Like a lol cow, like, do you know who Chris Chan is? Like, it's like a person on the internet who is just mocked and laughed relentlessly.
Okay. Yeah.
Or laughed at relentlessly. And so like these people have had like measurable fucking impacts on their life, like because of like these dox lists coming out, you know, and it's because of like insane people who like find, like as Alex said, which it's all the information is generally public, but it's still the act of like cataloging it and finding like every single like this and this and this, like earlier you said, like how much does it actually happen? It's like impossible to know, you know, like how to sample 1 million tweets and then how many of them have IPs in them. Like, how do you find that out? But like personally, in my experience, like, bro, if you go on like Twitter or even TikTok, like you'll see people like post like a video, like if it was like posted on like r/public freakout or something, they'll find the person, it'll be posted, like they'll find their docs and everything. It'll be in the comments. Like I see it often. You know, maybe it's not all the time, but I see it often, and it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, like shit. To put in a more perspective, Shia LaBeouf, when he was streaming live on Twitch,
oh yeah, the triangulation.
They literally triangulated the angle of the sun to find out which hemisphere of the fucking Earth he was in,
God.
so that way they could take down a shitty flag that he had hung up
on the live stream.
Yeah, and it's just like, if that's possible based on like fucking 50 4chan people, like I don't even want to comprehend what like a billion people can do.
I'm not denying that stuff happens, but my original point was like, how much of that is an individual basis versus like a group set?
Oh,
of,
I mean,
of like needing to do this, because like with Kiwi Farms or 4chan, well, that's what I'm saying is like, is that cancel culture then, just because they hate someone individually, no matter what they do?
Because it's
I wouldn't think so. Because
of
cancel culture involves like the person doing something. It like if you dox somebody and get other people,
it doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, I feel like cancel culture is finding out what the people have done as well. It's like cancel culture. Part of it is digging into the past.
That's like an internet terrorist group. I wouldn't consider that cancel culture.
I think when I think of cancel culture, I feel like it's a very broad term, but I feel like it applies to the general public. I feel like just seeing like the hemisphere he was in, I think that's like a very niche group, and it is very messed up. I guess it still could be a part of it, but I feel like it's not as publicized.
I was using that as 4chan.
That's like a very extreme example.
Yeah, I was using it as an example of the skill that
what Alex was talking about before, like finding their LinkedIn or their Instagram, all of those things. Like, of course that shit's public, but like going in and cataloging it and then posting it and being like, this dude lives in fucking, you know, like Akron or some shit, you know, like, oh, okay.
like, wow, now I have to fear for my life.
And
cool.
I do think that cancel culture, I think it applies to a specific aspect of just our general culture, which is that like visceral reaction to things that we don't like or perceive as bad or whatever.
Yeah.
Or perceive as like it deserves mocking. You know what I mean? Like people like Chris Chan, you know, obviously they've done some fucked up things now, but I think in their origin story, they didn't really do anything fucked up. They were just like a trans person online.
They just existed on the internet.
Who had like a mental disability, you know, and it's like, you know, that person didn't, and to be fair, those people are also extreme, but it's just like, I don't know. I see it on Twitter enough to make me feel like it's something that happens.
But like, I don't think
general
just
public.
A group of people making fun of somebody is considered cancel culture. I think there has to be some sort of reaction.
Bullying.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to make the distinction with, because like finding all your public information and everything, like anyone can do that despite what you do. It comes to a point when it's like a reaction to what you did.
How many people have to do it until it becomes a culture?
Yeah, so to make the distinction between, I'm going to write on yours, but to make the distinction between bullying and cancel culture, Anthony, what did you just say?
How many people does it take to like cancel someone for it to be a culture of it?
Is there a line between bullying and cancel culture? Is it the number of people, or is it the extent in which they go?
I think it's both.
Okay.
Because like I could hate somebody for basically no reason. I am not cancel culture myself because they haven't done any sort of reaction, and there's like no greater mindset of what I'm doing or like how they react or how I react to whatever they're doing. When it comes to like a group mindset, I don't know how many people would be considered that, because it could be like a group of 25 people don't like this one micro celebrity or something. The micro celebrity themselves could consider that canceling. But I think the idea that there should be a distinction comes in with the word cancel, because cancel usually means like how the people who were following that person go about reacting to whatever they did. So if you're just like online in Kiwi Farms or 4chan, like indiscriminately bullying somebody despite whatever they did, you could say that they literally woke up one day and you didn't like that and you needed to cancel them for it. I think it's kind of a dangerous rhetoric to say that cancel culture can be literally anybody that just doesn't like somebody.
That. And I don't think it is that. But what I think the way that it plays out is like this. Like, let's say that there is a person who really hates some influencer, and then, you know, and that person is on Kiwi Farms or whatever. And then let's say that influencer does something that is controversial. Yeah. And then some people react, right? And they just react with like insults or quote tweets or like, hey, this is weird or whatever. but then the Kiwi Farms poster, or a few of them, will post their doxes, and then we'll post that shit. And then the general public will be like, oh, hey, now we know where this fucking loser works.
Trickle down hatred.
Like literally, like it's just it's like easy to jump on it because
I don't disagree
because
that
like
happens.
this person did all the legwork. Now I don't have to do it. I could just be like, hey, you're losing your job now.
Yeah.
you know?
I see how on an individual basis, like one person can do a lot of damage like that. But I just think like the pinning that all on cancel culture as like one entity, it's you have to look at like the multifaceted situation of how people react to that kind of stuff. Because oftentimes people just get deplatformed or they get dropped from whatever deal that they're on for like businesses. I mean, Kanye, for example.
Information is very scary. And I feel like
The internet, baby.
if we want to survive through these tumultuous times, we have to like disconnect ourselves from like our first reactions. Like somehow, somewhere, I don't know how it's going to be possible, especially with 7 billion people trying
8 billion now.
Yeah, 8 billion people. Every single one of them is trying to stand out through like fucking TikTok dances and shit. It's like, if you want to be on that grind set and get real famous, you got to be first.
You got
It's
to
like,
be controversial.
yeah, it's just like, it's so fucking weird that we have just this constant desire to just do the first thing that we think of and then post it online.
I'm gonna say something that you guys might scoff at, but I think is legit.
I'm priming it.
Yeah.
What Alex just said, I think illustrates perfectly what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Wrong.
Yeah.
I think that cancel culture, like this reactionary, the way that I define cancel culture
Bro.
is like what Alex said is like this reactionary reaction to something that's happening. But like, I think that this is the same like line of thought or human behavior that follows from like things like the Salem witch trial, or like
You've brought
Spanish
this up before.
Inquisition, or like
Sheep
lynching,
behavior.
or like things like that.
Yeah, we've had it.
Well, I'm just like, and I'm not saying like it's anywhere near those things like physically, like, you know, like
It's
like
definitely
you
the
said,
same-
like people get their
I
platforms
agree.
It's the same psychology.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
it's just like it goes against the norm in some sense, and kind of group behavior is how it is.
It's
True. Yeah,
like
'cause
you as a
people,
society.
you know, when individuals like move chaotically, but when you have them in a system, you can like see where things are going to go.
Yeah.
Elon can fix us though, right, guys?
Oh my God.
Free speech.
He brought back Donald J. Trump.
He brought back
freedom of
Kanye,
speech.
dude.
Did he? Wait,
Oh,
Kanye was never banned.
Oh, he just
He
came
got
back though.
No, he had like, dude,
Now that
two
his
people,
BFF Trump is
Jordan
back.
Peterson and Kanye, both said that they got unbanned, but they were never suspended. They like both just had a tweet removed, and then they were like, "I'm never tweeting again." Like it was just
What happened to
maybe
free
Kanye got
speech?
suspended, but Jordan Peterson never did.
I think Kanye did get like suspended.
He
for,
would,
like,
because
a
no,
week or
because he
two.
was like actually being. Was he
He was
anti?
going crazy.
He was
He's
anti-Semitic
going
on Maine.
DEFCON 3.
DEFCON 3.
Yeah, I mean Kanye. At least post on the alt account at fake Kanye.
This
Yeah.
isn't 4chan, Kanye.
Wait, I gotta ask you something, Nicole.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Do you lull when you're alone?
Oh my God.
do you-
Stop
Wow.
this.
when you're on Twitter or Reddit or whatever the fuck you look at and you find something funny, do you physically be like, ha ha ha?
It really depends.
Well, yeah, it depends on the joke.
But
or
I do.
How funny it is.
I feel
You do.
like I don't know. I feel like I talk to myself a lot, so
I do too.
I laugh a lot at anything because I like kind of like in my head it's just like another person talking in my brain.
Yeah,
So it's just
sometimes I will laugh out loud to something I said to myself in
same.
my head.
He's
yeah.
trying to make me feel bad for not laughing.
Yeah, neither of these
you don't.
freaks.
I might do an audible. Yeah,
It's
but
not enough.
No.
like,
He's asked so many people this question.
Yeah.
Because everyone else has said yes, they do.
we're just
actually
built
I
like
haven't
this.
asked.
Are you BMing me for not
it's
enjoying
Nicole,
life?
It's Nicole and Michael. Those are the only two people I've asked.
You've asked George.
Did I?
Yeah, you
What
also
did he
asked
say?
Jake.
What
They
did
both
they
said
say?
yeah too.
Yes, exactly.
Great. Now you're putting down your friends who don't enjoy life.
I gotta just get a good chuckle in.
This is why I'm on
That's it,
Zoloft.
Just
know.
slap the knee once in a while, man.
I mean, I laugh, but I'm not like sitting alone in my room going, ah!
All right. Also,
That's literally me. Bro.
to be fair, I will admit there are times when I do make myself laugh. Like,
Do you
but,
laugh internally or externally?
more internally. I think something. It's like a feeling in the chest. You're like, bruh.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I laugh at stuff, but I'm not like, I feel like it's weird to like scream laugh when you're alone because there's like no one to gauge your reaction. It's like, I'll giggle.
I literally
Why do you need
monologue
to-
to myself
Me
when I'm
too.
alone. So it's like I don't see the difference in like laughing out loud to myself versus talking to
Yeah,
myself.
I mean,
I
I-
don't laugh
There's
to
no,
myself.
there's no like actual, I just laugh way harder when I'm with other people. Like I can't do it that easily when I'm alone.
Can I? So do you guys like? How often do you talk to yourself?
All the
So
time.
fucking
All
often.
the time.
Okay, so that's weird because I was gonna say I love talking to myself. I do it all the
Okay.
time in front of the like when I'm in the mirror. Like the mirror is like enables me too. 'Cause it's just like another
Okay,
person.
you're on like a psychosis
Well,
level.
When I play video games, I'll talk to
Me
myself.
too.
Me too. I'm just saying the mirror thing.
No, because like if it's like right there, I'll like look at myself, and it's just
Oh, okay.
especially
like a passing thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like it like also like enables me to another level because then like I get a reality check. I'm like I'm insane.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Have you ever like scared yourself looking in the mirror? Like, have you ever like looked directly?
Whoa, what do you mean by that?
No. Have you ever looked like directly
Yes.
into like your eyes and then like I feel like I can like not hypnotize myself but like stun myself. Like,
Stunlock yourself and
literally
looking-
for like 0.1 seconds where it's just like I look in the mirror. It takes a little while too because like I'm looking and it's like I focus on the eyes and like it takes a little while. But then at one point I see like me looking at me and like being aware that I'm looking at myself.
The
I don't know,
infinite
it's
darkness.
weird.
it's
It's
just
so weird. I don't know how to
It's
describe
surreal.
it.
I don't have
If
that
you
kind of
know, you know.
reaction.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I understand what you're saying, but it's never gotten to the extreme where I'm like, yikes, I need to look away. I'm just like, I'm looking at myself, looking at myself.
Yeah, I think the mentality that I have that kind of like spooks me a little bit about it is like I look into my eyes with the idea of how deep can I see? Like in the most metaphysical, metaphorical sense
Whoa.
of like that statement. It's like how like can I see through myself? And it's just I don't know. It's really weird. It's
That's
more of a
acid brain is coming out.
Yeah, that's
It
more of a
kinda does.
spiritual thing rather than like a physical thing of like looking at your eyes.
yeah, I guess I don't know.
I do this when I'm like washing my face and brushing my teeth. I like just have a fear that I'm gonna like look up and like just like I like okay.
There's another person
or just
in the
like
mirror.
I like to keep myself in check. I like to keep my mirror self in check.
I
That-
jump
that-
scare myself
I want
on
to keep.
purpose.
I want to just catch it lacking one day. And I like
Yeah, your mirror.
Yeah, then I'm like, are you real? Like, what is happening here? And like, especially when I'm in the bathroom, like at night, I'm just like everything's just like more like I'm more aware, and it actually is terrifying sometimes. And I'm just like washing my face and I'm like quickly look up just to make sure.
Yeah, have you ever not recognized yourself in
Yes.
the mirror? Oh my god, it is the most terrifying shit.
It's like uncanny valley. You're like, ah!
Yeah.
Because it's me, but not.
Yeah, catching yourself
Yeah.
lacking in the mirror verse. You're
Yeah.
just like, you look away and then your peripheral, your mirror self doesn't
Yeah.
move and you're like, wait.
I mean, like, I've caught myself a couple times because I know.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on.
I caught that bastard a few times.
No, because it's like, you know how your eyes like delete the frames of like you like changing like
Like
looking
in
direction.
between your
Yeah.
movements. Yeah, I understand.
Have you ever caught a couple times where like you catch the movement of your eyes? Like I don't know why it happens, but like
I'm trying it
like
now.
in your like when you're looking at the mirror and you look away, you could see your eyes.
Yeah, I could
moving.
see that.
Yeah.
I could see that tracking happen.
Yeah.
And it's like I like fill in the blanks of the images in my head that have been removed and the image I saw in the mirror of like things that had happened. But I don't know. It was
The
really
brain is
weird.
weird.
I understand. Deleting frames is a great way to put it because I recognize that like when I was a kid, I would be like, when I move around, why does my brain not process like half those signals? Maybe I'm just dumb. But also another
I got
thing,
the
As
slow
fast as
vision.
Fuck, boy.
another like random fear that I have that's kind of similar to yours, Nicole, is like balloons. No, I'm kidding. When
Call back.
when I'm talking to myself and I'm like home alone or I know that there's nobody else around, sometimes I'll like wait when I'm like
To see
not
if something
talking.
responds.
Well, not something responds, but if I hear my voice when I'm not speaking,
Oh,
like I'm like
mean?
I'm talking and I'm hearing my voice, but like What about when I'm not actively talking and I hear my voice?
Has that happened?
No.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
You're describing it like it happened.
No,
Insane.
No, I'm not schizophrenic, but it's the same thing with like the mirrorverse self where you're like trying to catch something lacking.
Yeah.
Do the voices ever stop for you guys?
No, they don't. I do have a general question, a little bit of a segue, but yeah.
A little bit, a small
segment.
segue.
But yeah, like
Actually, hold that thought. I'm gonna see. Get fucked.
Today's episode was sponsored by Cut Us Off. Like literally just starts. I talked over Anthony at least 4 times already.
I give you the pass to
like-
punch me in the face.
Like when he was talking about Amber Heard, you should have shitted on him.
Yeah, a little bit, if anything.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I just like zone, like they zone out a bit in my brain, and then like I came into the conversation, and I wasn't really aware, so I was trying to like get footing.
Also, I noticed sometimes you'd be like just doing this.
give me that. Actually, the fidget toy.
Nicole's not allowed to have it. It's too distracting.
Yeah,
for her.
it helps me.
I understand why she
No.
was being distracted now.
No, it wasn't. That helps me.
Oh, okay.
But like, if I'm not, I'll be like in the mic, like on my nails, like biting ASMR and like skin picking. So
No, yeah, I definitely zone out during the podcast too.
Yeah.
Like whenever Alex talks.
No, like if you guys are like locked in a conversation where it's like you're talking about something that like I really have no like actual input other than like inserting a funny little gag like every 30 seconds.
When we talk about politics.
yeah, pretty much. It's like funny bump.
the one-liners.
I have a specific fidget toy that tape measure that I have. I literally just like push the inside of it. It's like one of those tape measures that doesn't have like the metal casing on it that auto retracts and such.
Oh,
it's
the
literally just
dangerous
like
kind.
yeah. It's kid friendly for me.
Okay.
It's just one of those that wraps up. It's like a coil. So I push the middle of it back and forth. It's really satisfying and honestly it does help me focus.
What was your segue?
Yeah, let me hop back on my.
Yes.
But yeah, if you guys are comfortable with answering this question, do you have any like condition, like medical conditions that like you're afraid of, and like how do you want people to treat you?
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
if I were to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it's like
Put me in a river.
I think like I think in my mind that I would be ultimately okay with it, but like I don't know. I would get to first of all experience everything in life new again, kind of maybe. I don't know how Alzheimer's works,
I don't know.
but like I don't know. Just be patient with me, dog. Like
yeah.
I'm genuinely sure that I can like brush off the severity of Alzheimer's.
I
Oh my
don't
God.
think that's.
I
how
don't
it
think
works.
it's because my grandma, she had dementia, and it was like it's a scary thing.
Yeah,
like just forgetting. It's like you're experiencing something new. It's like I know I should know this, but
Yeah.
I don't know it, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it
Here's
makes
the
you
thing,
scared.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened like fucking last week, you know? So it's like I forget so much shit already.
Yeah,
I
but
should
you
be
don't-
okay
you
with
don't-
losing core memories.
You didn't forget who Anaya was. You
Yeah.
can't forget that.
Give me 30 years, buddy.
30.
That's when the dementia kicks in.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows dementia kicks in at 52.
That'd be like the youngest case of dementia ever.
Start them young.
Yeah, my grandma had pretty bad dementia too. She would like walk around the house. It was probably really hard to go through for my grandpa because he didn't have any sort of dementia or like any kind of decay like that, where it was just like she would forget people's names. She would forget like her own daughters. She would forget where she put stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like living with someone like that, I
Literally
can
me
probably
right now.
I can see how that's like really frustrating to go through. They're vape battling right now.
Oh, you didn't want nicotine. I thought you quit.
She already hit my vape earlier.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that.
This is my grace period. Cut this out of the
To be fair,
podcast.
No record.
We're telling your boyfriend.
We're only posting this part.
This is live.
But as you were saying, Zane,
Yeah, it's probably just really tough to go through because like even my aunts, my grandma was forgetting like their names. Like I remember she was in a car ride going somewhere with one of my aunts and she suddenly thought that she was being kidnapped.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, imagine your own mother just doesn't even recognize you.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
so sad.
She stopped recognizing me after a while, which was, it was really weird to experience because I was never super close with her, but she just like forgot my name and like didn't even bother to remember it because she knew she would forget about it. Because I only saw her like maybe once a month, once every 2 months.
Well, are you sure it was like her not bothering to remember, or was it the dementia? Because I mean, like,
well, that's what I'm saying is like you would remember for like that day, and then the dementia would make you forget, or like even at the time that I'm there, you know, depending on how the dementia goes, how it flows.
I'm like genuinely afraid of having like schizophrenia.
Yeah, that was going to be mine.
I watched a movie with my mom yesterday. What was it called? It was like
Schizo moment.
it was like it's called Thinking of Ending Things. It's based off a book.
Oh,
and
I think I've
I've
seen the cover of that book.
It was like, okay, like overall, like not a good movie, but a really good movie. Like they kind of botched the ending, but it was like, it's kind of like, it's kind of like that. And it's very surreal and like in the mind of it. And it was really, really interesting and unsettling, but.
Yeah. I would like to say if I ever end up being like schizophrenic, don't like tell me if things are real or not. I think in that moment, I myself need to formulate a hyper specific question that I need answered. And
so you're saying like you would rather develop the cognitive ability to recognize when things are real or not rather than having people tell you.
Absolutely. I feel like at that point I need to overcome my limitation of schizophrenia and potentially use it for my own benefit.
I mean, I feel like that's a really bold statement because you have schizophrenia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What else am I gonna do?
I mean, try to combat it, but I think it's probably like a futile battle to some extent.
But like, I'll fight that fucking bitch.
Yeah, go down swinging.
Yeah,
fight
absolutely.
that bitch. Yeah, that's when you're in the mirror.
And he stances up, goes pit bull on me.
Schizophrenia is treatable. It's not like like that. It's not the end of the world to get schizophrenia. And Alzheimer's is also like there's some.
I feel like schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is scary because it doesn't affect like pretty much men our age. Like it could like at this age it like starts.
I think it's like it starts higher.
Early.
It's higher in men. I think.
Is it? I think it's
or at least reported.
It's reported. You know? Yeah.
I think it's a combination of like having a really good imagination, like the ability to formulate images and projections in your head. Oh God. And
shifting.
Also like high tier paranoia. I think those two blended together, bam, schizo moment.
It runs in my family and it skips a generation. So I'm like,
you're at risk.
Yeah. I'm kind of at risk for it, which is kind of why I'm afraid of it. And I can envision that apple. So
when you have schizophrenia, or if you do
you have schizophrenia. Thanks, Alex.
When you get it.
Like that bitch. Remember, stance up, guard strong.
I'm just shadow boxing in the basement. You're like, Zane, we need to move cars, and I'm just like,
I'm having a schizo moment.
Hey, if you say that though, I'll know you recognize it. Real recognizes real.
Alex, leave me alone. I'm literally fighting demons.
I see it too. Don't worry.
Everyone in the house.
Have you guys seen the show Atlanta?
No. What's it about?
Atlanta. It's about.
Have you seen the show?
It's about. It was written by Childish Gambino or Donald Glover, and
Mr. Atlanta.
It follows him. He's like a manager for his cousin who's a rapper, and it just follows like their life, like through them trying to make it or whatever. And the last episode was like a total mind fuck, like schizophrenia moment, and like what you were saying earlier, like you got to find that one thing that you know where you're, I'm having an episode.
Yeah.
For this one dude, it was Thick Judge Judy.
Oh.
As soon as
naturally
shows up, I know it's not real.
Hold on, wait. I'm gonna need to see a picture.
Yeah, so I can create a better mental image.
If you haven't seen Atlanta, it's such a good show. You need to watch it. Anyway.
No, whenever I get schizophrenia, I'm gonna think about Thick Judge Judy.
Trigger warning, horny.
Do you guys have any mental illnesses or disorders?
I said Alzheimer's. That was mine.
Nicole?
How do you want us to interact with you if you have Alzheimer's though?
I honestly think like that's like one of the scariest things for me. Like having memories that are like that I think are mine and I have like some attachment to them, but like I don't actually know them. Like that, I don't know, like that level of uncertainty in like my understanding of reality and like who I am, it really scares me. And like I feel like if I had it, it all depends on like the level, because like it's a degenerative disease, so it's like maybe in the beginning stages I'd be all right, but honestly I just don't know if I could live. Like it just seems like
I feel like that's when you have to listen to like what the fuck is it? Everywhere at the end of time.
everywhere.
The album that's
the
about
Alzheimer's,
dementia for Alzheimer's?
the Alzheimer's album.
Yeah.
If you yourself, dear listener, haven't listened to that, it's honestly an experience.
It is an
and
experience.
it's really sad.
I can't say that it's like a good album.
I love it.
I mean,
It's a
not
nice
good about it?
piece of art
It's-
rather than
yeah,
like
it's-
true music. Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's obviously still music, but it's not like something I'll put on in the car or whatever. But it's
Bumping the Alzheimer's beats.
Dave and I played it at Pizza Hut our entire shift because it was 6 hours, and we're like,
Dude,
all right, let's put it on.
You lost some neurons that day.
Yeah, I gained some actually. It's preventative. Well, like
I actually just did like one of those the use space cleanup thing for your hard drive. He's forgetting all the needless information.
Yeah.
You
So-
downloaded CC.
I'm
Cleaner.
forgetting that I have Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
But like the fifth section of that album is basically
Beautiful.
complete silence. What beautiful.
Because I sat there and I cried. Dude.
Yeah.
Like
The
I
ending-
legitimately broke down.
Yeah, the ending, and it's like it sounds nothing like the rest of the album because it's all samples of like old like 1920s 1930s swing music, like things that old people would usually listen to in our time, or like what we consider old people to listen to.
Yeah.
Definitely old sounding music. So like when that silence hits, it's basically like you're envisioning this person who is forgetting all of it. Like it slowly starts to deteriorate, and then you're at this point where you're literally not able to remember any of it. And then at the end, it's just like this swell of like a chorus, and you're like, I'm dying because of this. It's really heavy. Fuck Alzheimer's.
Fuck Alzheimer's.
We have
They don't-
beef.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia gang.
Pro schizophrenia. Anything for you, Nicole?
It's not mental illness. It's more of like, because ovarian cancer and breast cancer is very prominent, and like my mom's side, but like in my grandma had it, my grandma's sisters had it. So like I'm
wary.
it didn't really hit till my mom's like, oh yeah, I'm getting tested for that today. And I'm like,
Oh,
Like
God.
today?
yeah,
Should
or not today.
I?
She like scheduled an appointment, but I'm like, that sounds like something I should be more concerned of.
Yeah. It's like me
So-
with prostate cancer
Yeah.
because it's like it affects men, and it usually shows up around this time. You get one at like 20, and then you get another one at 40 or 50.
Supposed to get a prostate exam at 20?
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed
Your
to get
prostate skill check every 20 years.
Yep, you got a tight anus.
What were you gonna say, Nicole?
I thought it was only like when you're 40.
That's what I thought too.
You have to get like, I know you have to get one when you're an adult. I don't know the exact age, but you're supposed to get one when you're younger, and then you're supposed to get another one when you're older. I mean, you could get them whenever you want, obviously, but like that's when they recommend.
It's a weekly occurrence for me.
I just love getting prostate exams.
Me and my prostate.
Me and my doctor.
Me and my
All right, Doc, I want 2 this time.
give me the
Give me the hand.
Give me
I'm ready to take the jump. I'm jumping the shark this week.
give me the happy ending, my guy.
So that's not necessary. Do it.
Reach around.
Yeah, give me the cough test on my balls while you're doing it. That's just been the null thought. We never did it. Oh no, we did an intro.
Null thought cockcast.
I've been
Hold on.
Zane.
Anthony.
Nicole.
You went before Alex.
Yeah.